Nadine Dorries has finally resigned almost 2 months after handing in her notice with immediate effect. She's now written to the Prime Minister and left a few scathing remarks, and it does make for great reading. I'll leave a link to the full letter in the description. You know, that big box that's right underneath the like button. Can you remember this clip where she thought she was going into the House of Lords?
There is also a rumpus about the number of people that Boris Johnson wants to send to the House of Lords. Are you still expecting to get a peerage?
So I've never officially been told that is happening. Everybody else...
Not officially.
No, but the only thing I've seen is a leak to a newspaper, so I don't expect anything in this life, Laura. I'll just take whatever comes my way.
Well, she believed the king of the liars, and it really does all stem from that. If Sunak did block her appointment, or if Johnson never actually put a name on his resignation honours list, it's something we might never know. But either way, she blames Sunak, and this letter just is her venting her frustrations. She blames him for the political assassination of Johnson and something she tweeted about at the time, which is in very poor taste, seeing as we've had 2 MPs killed in knife attacks. But it's moments like these that should be mostly missed for.
Just recently, in the last 24 hours.
Why? Why are you asking me that question?
I'd like to know.
We've communicated.
I'm really confused. Is that a difficult question? I'm just asking if you've spoken to the Prime Minister in the last 24 hours.
We have communicated.
Okay. What has he communicated to you?
Well, I'm not going to tell you the extent of my communications with the Prime Minister. I mean, I've answered your question. We have communicated. What is your next question?
What's his mood?
I'd say his mood was very positive, extremely positive. I mean, onwards is one of his favourite expressions. I think he's very positive.
But you cannot tell me that you have not had messages from constituents raising legitimate concerns. Indeed, you yourself may have had a couple of moments over the past couple of years, the same as the rest of us, when we have found ourselves limiting our behaviour because of the rules that were in place. You must have done that yourself and perhaps even looked at what happened at Number 10 and maybe rolled your eyes slightly.
So I would say, the biggest inbox of complaints I had were about Dominic Cummings and his trip to Barnard Castle. What I've had now is absolutely nothing.
And the Prime Minister defended that one to the hilt.
I've had nothing like on the scale. So I'm not a random backbencher either, and my perspective on this is that when you lead an organisation, such as the Prime Minister leads the government, you have to take responsibility for actions and decisions taken by that organisation.
So there's this thing, isn't there? There are men, it's men particularly, who have positions of authority or trust and power, kind of think they're above the law and above those standards that the rest of us are held by and held to.
He didn't say anything that was untrue.
Well,
Boris Johnson said something that was untrue.
He said things
he
that were
misled the House
inappropriate.
today.
I don't believe that's the case.
Well, it is what you're saying that Keir Starmer was responsible.
I don't know. I don't know the details.
Well, that's what the Prime Minister said.
Well, you haven't heard
he
your
shouldn't
word
have
for
said it, should he?
Well, I think there are lots of things that Keir Starmer shouldn't have said.
Well, there are clearly things that he said that aren't
The
true.
Prime Minister
Now, whether he
tells
would,
the truth.
whether
Nadine Dorries always seems to fail no matter what she turns her hand to, and when she thought she could throw her follower weight around on Twitter, that backfired too. And you can see what happened in the video that's on screen now. If you support the channel, please consider hitting that join button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.